seen from them and how they've changed under Coach Beard?
You know, they're really talented, obviously. Got a lot of new faces. Um, but there's still a little bit of Shaka's, you know, handprints in there with Courtney and Brock Cunningham, and Andrew Jones. And so they're trying to mesh the different philosophies and guys understanding different ways to play, because obviously the styles from Shaka and Coach B are very different. The thing that I've seen is just, you know, in some ways similar to us, a lot of depth, but guys starting to figure out how they have success as it relates to the team and with one another, how to help each other. And obviously, Marcus Carr's playing much better here since conference play has started. Courtney's playing well, and you know, they're good. And obviously, it starts with having good players, but also having good schemes and ability to understand what's at stake in conference play.
For a team that has so many new faces and a new coach this season, where do you feel like, or what have you seen of where they're at, you know, 12, 13 games in?
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really think about it that way. Got enough things to worry about for us. I just watch on film, how do we prepare to have success against them? I'm not trying to figure out where they are in terms of the evolution of where they should be 12 games in with a new coach. I'm not smart enough to think that deeply about somebody else's program. But obviously he's been successful everywhere he's been. And there's no doubt in my mind that he'll find success down there as well.
For Tyreek, it's a reunion with his former coach, of course, and he talked about how when he was in high school, you had kind of recruited him at that point. What do you remember about him first getting on your radar?
So Tyreek, Louisiana kid, similar to Avery in some ways, moved when they were young to Dallas and really kind of became who they are there. We obviously recruit that area pretty heavily, and I just remember him being very similar in my mind to the Boones. He was a skinny, athletic guy, and you can tell that he really embraced changing his body when he got to Tech. And it's the reason that he's been able to come in here and have an impact, because he brings a different kind of physical presence to the game for us. And he's somebody that's a joy to be around. He loves the game. He loves to work at it. He enjoys being coached. He wants to be challenged, and he's somebody who, you know, I can see his role growing as we move forward.
What was that process like then, recruiting him again once he decided to transfer?
Yeah, I mean, almost all of them. I'm trying to kind of go through before I misspeak. We didn't recruit Musa as aggressively, but we had some connection with all the guys who transferred in this year. Obviously, Bryce being the most notable, but it was kind of just, you know, I'm big on building bridges, not burning them. And so whether something goes the way I want it to in recruiting, I still talk to several guys that I recruited who never came here. Tyrese Maxey probably being the most prominent, partly because he's really close with Chris Harris, and partly because I really thought he should have come here. And I remind him of that. And it's funny because I'll tell this quick story. So he's got a teammate in Philly named Tobias Harris. And when I was at South Carolina, I recruited Tobias there, and obviously he went to Tennessee, but he was from New York. And long story short, well, Tobias and Tyrese got talking to each other at some point about their college experience, and they both said to each other that, you know, they wished they would have gotten the experience. Not saying that they didn't enjoy where they went, but that how it could have been different had they made the choice to come play where I was at the time. So it's interesting, but you know, kind of going to that, I don't bash kids when they leave. I mean, obviously it's well noted how I handled the Bryce Thompson deal when he didn't come here. And it's not because I hope that they come back eventually. It's just because kids get to make the decision that they think is best for them. And my job, however close we were or not, is to wish them well and support them and hope that things goes well unless we got to play them. Cody Raymond's another one in this game. I mean, we were right there with. And you know, I look up in the warm-up line against Kansas the other day, recruited KJ Adams, Zach Clements, David McCormick, Ochai Baji. Just don't get any of them. Not the first time, anyway.
Does some of that come from you being a former player? You haven't gone through the decision process and you kind of understand where they're coming from?
I don't know. I think it's just part of my personality. Like, I really don't have the energy to be mad at anybody. I just don't. And so, I think some people have adversarial relationships with the people who cover them from a media perspective. You guys got a job to do. I respect that. And does that mean sometimes you got to criticize the things that I do? Yeah. And do I take it personally? Nope. And I think you are honest people. I think you're fair. And when we don't play well, you should say that. That's your job. I'm going to say it. Nobody's got higher expectations of our program and myself than I do. And so I don't think too much of myself to think I'm above criticism or above somebody saying, hey, what you guys do over there isn't for me. I'm going to go do something else.
How much has Courtney Ramey grown since the kid you were watching in St. Louis to now?
I really couldn't. It's hard for me to say that. I'm not around him. His game, you can see, has matured, and he takes less risks than he did early on. But I'm not. I was around him once a week or so, as much as I could when I was recruiting him, and I saw a kid who was really talented, but had a bit of an emotional side. I don't know if that's still there because I don't get to see that in practice. But he's become more consistent as a three-point shooter. That's clear. He's obviously a really good defensive player. The thing I always appreciated about Courtney is he was a winner. He won at a high level in high school, and he obviously has won at a pretty high level in college. Not had a ton of NCAA tournament success, but that dude's been a part of a lot of really good wins in Austin.
I think we've talked about this in the past, but I think not too long after Courtney decided to go to Texas is whenever you guys landed Ice. They're kind of play a similar role for each team. I don't know. It's kind of weird how it all seems to work out in the end because Ice obviously been very successful here.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason also that I try not to get caught up in the emotion of being turned down. I don't like, when I spend time and the resources and the money we spend trying to recruit the kids, and I say money we spend, I'm talking about having to get on the airplane or put gas in my car. I'll be clear on that, man. People get crazy about this stuff. But it makes it hard when you get told no. But if you do your job the right way and you have good people in your program, ultimately you'll get the people in place that you need to have. And then at the end of the day, it's about trying to find the cohesion and chemistry to go out and perform on a consistent basis. So.
With